Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, FD for SIG5.tv. In this video, we are going to bring you a controversial topic we are going to be discussing because we are covering top layer ones in the top 30 according to CoinMarketCap with real potential, not just some coinsnomics. Real potential. What are those layer ones and how many are they? And the ones that we are going to exclude, but they are popular, we are going to provide the rationale why we think those don't cut it. If you want to know that and much more, please keep watching. But before we proceed, some housekeeping first, guys. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research. I am not an expert or financial advisor. This content is not targeting UK audiences. The UK authorities do deem anything crypto related to be extremely risky and they're trying to protect you just in case you end up losing your funds. That said, let's come back to the subject matter. Top layer 1 chains within the top 30 with real potential going forward. To avoid empty hype, a layer 1 should. This is my own take. If you disagree, let me know what you think in the comment section. So to avoid empty hype, a layer 1 should have genuine use cases, real adoption. We're talking of finance, identity, data, interoperability, enterprise, and so forth. It should also build infrastructure and primitives other than rely on, for example, cross-chain, composability, data, and security. The layer 1 should also show developer ecosystem partnership, real integrations, not just tokenomics incentives. It also needs to be technically robust and not over-leveraged on gimmicks. It needs to be relatively resilient to speculative collapse by having grounded demand. So those are my 5 conditions that I think a top layer 1 should have if it wants to prove that it has real potential. And I'm only looking within the top 30 because it's a mixture of layer 1s and dApps and protocols. I'm only looking at layer 1s, not protocols. Okay, so top layer 1 chains. I know you got Bitcoin, but I'm going to exclude that because it messes on some of the things we got on there. Okay, so looking at recent rankings, the prominent layer 1s among the top 30 include the likes of Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Avalanche, Binance Chain, perhaps XRP's ecosystem, and maybe a few others depending on classification. And some layer 1s may be a hybrid or EVM based, so definitions blur here. Let's jump into the ones that I think stand out as layer 1s with real potential. The first one, no prices for guessing what, it's going to be Ethereum, isn't it? And ETH. It is the leading layer 1 smart contracts for DeFi, NFTs, DAO, infrastructure chain. Almost every major DAO protocol rollup, for example, they all connect to Ethereum. It is extremely good security and it is decentralized to an extremely high standard. Its validators and consensus model is well tested. It's the base for a lot of layer 2 ecosystems, rollups, modular scaling solutions, which means demand funnels through ETH. ETH is a strong staking demand. People lock ETH to secure the network, and it also boasts huge developer ecosystem tooling, incubators, and institutional interest. There are some risks because it won't be a good analysis if we don't include the risks. Scalability and cost pressures, although that is alleviated via rollups and sharding. Regulatory uncertainty about whether staked ETH or participation could be deemed securities in some jurisdictions. Some newer chains push faster and cheaper narratives to siphon away devs and applications. So those are some of Ethereum's weaknesses. Not an exhaustive list, but just enough for the purposes of this video. Next, we got Solana. I think Solana is up there alongside it. Value propositions and strengths from Solana include its extremely high throughput, low fees, fast finality, which make it ideal for high-frequency dApps. Here I'm talking of games, micropayments, real-time apps, and so forth. It also has strong adoption in Web3 gaming, NFTs, and real-time apps. Solana boasts of a growing ecosystem with many projects choosing Solana for performance. Innovations such as parallelization, talking of C-level, give technical differentiation. Risks and weaknesses for Solana. Historically, Solana has had network outages, reliability issues, which reduce trust. I don't know if that has been resolved completely, but you can never say never. Things always go wrong. It's down to how and whether Solana has learned from previous mistakes or issues it has had. Some centralization criticisms as well, where validator concentration, hardware barriers, and so forth, and competition from newer chains claiming similar or better performance with stronger decentralization. There's no price for guessing. You've got the likes of Sui. They're doing better job, I think. Whether they will surpass Solana or not, that's yet to be seen. And that takes us to Sui. The value proposition and strength for Sui. Sui is newer, but its architecture is data-centric and optimized for rich user experiences. For example, programming models, object models, and Sui also aims for low latency, high throughput, programmable state transitions in a way suited for interactive and real-time apps. It has strong funding, developer interest, and narrative momentum in the newer generation of chains. But there are some risks as well associated with Sui. Being young, it must prove resilience, security, and adoption. It is competing with many ambitious layer 1s, so differentiation and execution matter. And if network loads spike or usage surges, stress tests will be revealing. So we are still waiting to see if if and when Sui fails, because time will come when it's tested and it will fail at some point, unless it's well designed, which means it will defy all those things and you'll get a pass. Next one is Avalanche and the AVAX coin. It uses a multi-chain architecture, which is the X-chain, C-chain, and P-chain subnet. Now they're called Layer-1s, I understand, allowing custom subnets or Layer-1s tailored for application needs. Developers can build custom blockchains or Layer-1s with their own rules, but still connect to the broader Avalanche ecosystem. It offers interoperability and flexibility, which are part of its strength, but it also has some weaknesses or risk. Complexity is one of them, where managing many custom subnets or Layer-1s, security, governance is a challenging task. There are some competing chains pushing for modular or optimistic and zero-knowledge designs, which may outpace Avalanche. And if adoption of subnets or Layer-1s from Avalanche is slow, some infrastructure may be underutilized, so it will have plenty of capacity. That's on Avalanche. Moving on to BNB chain. Value proposition and strengths include its strong ecosystem tethered to Binance, the exchange, the products and user base. Many projects already deploying Binance chain. Good liquidity, many users and integrations. The thing with Binance is because there is liquidity, people want to go there just for that. Liquidity is a pull factor. It may be more permissive, flexible given Binance's resources and reach. Some risks to consider for Binance: more centralized control and the influence of Binance's governance and regulatory risks. If regulatory pressure intensifies on Binance, the BNB chain may suffer ripple effects. The chain's design might be less cutting edge versus rivals. It's less innovation focused because I think it was just a fork of Ethereum. I think maybe there have been some changes now, but there was that suggestion that it was kind of a fork of Ethereum. Especially Binance Smart Chain was a fork, just a cheaper fork. It was cheaper to transact on Binance Smart Chain, but with the Binance chain itself, maybe things are different. They've changed a few things, but it is still cheaper to transact and there's plenty of liquidity. So my top pick, if I have to pick any single one from all these, I'll probably go with Ethereum as a long-term Layer-1 among the top 30. It's not the flashiest, but its network effects in developer, capital, and tooling are numerous. Its security and decentralization are top tier. It is the bedrock for rollup, modular architectures, and scaling solutions. Even if new chains outpace parts of it, its foundational role is unlikely to vanish. That said, Solana and Sui are very strong challengers for performance-driven use cases. Avalanche is compelling for protocol flexibility, and BNB or Binance Chain offers ecosystem strength. But its combination of adoption and infrastructure as well as composability gives it resilience few can beat. Now, for the controversial part, the ones are left out and why I left them out. The first one, no surprise there, is Cardano. Why was it not included in these top 5 or so? Well, Cardano is research-driven and maintains an academic reputation via the likes of Charles Hoskinson and his organization. Its actual deployment and adoption curve is lagged significantly. Many of its smart contracts and DApp promises took years to implement. That's gone now because they are here. And even now, the ecosystem usage remains low compared to Ethereum, Solana, or even newer chains like Sui. So that's a given, right? And there are also concerns about developer tooling, which is too clunky because Haskell isn't widely adopted in Web3 development, and decentralized app TVL is modest, still lacks breakout killer apps. Counterpoint, don't look past ADA's UTXO model and governance, which could shine in a slow and steady scenario. But for now, it's mostly potential, not delivery. That's on Cardano. It's a blunt indictment of where things are with Cardano. Then we also have another promising one when it first launched. Now it's just so-so. Polkadot. Why was it not included in this list? Well, Polkadot's shared security model and parachain auctions are technically interesting, but real-world user and developer traction is falling flat. Despite big promises on interoperability and customization, parachain adoption is underwhelmed, and concerns range from ecosystem momentum, which is too low, to dev mindshare shifting elsewhere, Cosmos or other chains. And the narrative is weakened as well compared to more performant Layer-1s. And the counterpoint for Polkadot is Polkadot 2.0 and capped supply updates, which may reignite interest, but it hasn't materialized yet at a meaningful scale. That's on Polkadot. And for another one, Hedera, why was it not included? Well, Hedera runs on the Hashgraph consensus, which it claims is faster and more efficient than traditional blockchains. However, the governance model or corporate council and semi-permissioned architecture raise concerns about decentralization and trustlessness, which are key crypto tenets. And concerns here center around limited retail and developer uptake, and often seen as enterprise blockchain without Web3 stickiness, low DeFi and NFT adoption. But its counterpoint would be that it has interesting partnerships with the likes of Google, IBM, and so forth, but these haven't translated into usage or momentum like in Solana or Ethereum ecosystem. And next, you got Toncoin and the Ton coin. Why was this not included? Well, Ton is recently saged due to association with Telegram. It offers very fast, scalable architecture. However, it's relatively new to the top 30 and its ecosystem maturity is still limited. And there are concerns around Telegram association, which brings hype, but ecosystem tools are still nascent. There are centralization concerns around validator control, and Telegram as a wallet is promising but untested at serious global finance scale. The counterpoint for Toncoin is that it has potential if Telegram deeply integrates it, but that is still speculative because you need use cases, not just speculating by connecting two dots that may or may not connect. Finally, we've got Stellar, and the reason why Stellar and the XLM token were not included in this top leading layer ones, that Stellar is built for cross-border remittances and asset issuance, similar to XRP. However, despite being early to the game, it's stagnated in terms of relevance. DeFi, NFTs, and app development or broader infrastructure adoption is very limited or slow. And there are concerns as well around very limited dApp ecosystem, as well as network activity, which has been flat for years. It is also perceived to be too niche, siloed to grow beyond payments. But Stellar also, like the others, has got a counterpoint in that it is a clear payments utility, which it hasn't expanded yet as its vision, the way others like Solana or Avalanche have. Why the other layer ones made the cut? Well, chains like Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Sui, and Binance Chain were included because of their demonstrated and growing real-world usage, active developer bases, vibrant ecosystems, and technical innovations that go beyond theoretical white papers. They are also powering dApps that are actually used daily. They are enabling cross-chain integrations, layer 2s, and real DeFi and NFT commerce. The selected ones are also adopting next-gen architectures that aim for scalability and security. In Ethereum's case, it will be the ETH layer 2s that are coming in so many different designs. And they are also receiving real capital inflows, not just speculative pumps. My final thoughts is that this is not about dismissing, it's about prioritizing. None of the excluded chains are dead or irrelevant. In fact, many still have promising technology and committed teams. However, based on current momentum, utility, developer activity, and ecosystem maturity, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, Avalanche, and Binance Chain currently demonstrate the clearest blend of adoption, utility, and innovation without over-reliance on token emissions or unsustainable incentives. I know a lot of you will have a lot to say about this. Please, you're welcome. Let us know in the comment section why your favorite layer 1 was included or excluded. I'll be interested in knowing that. Let us know in the comment section. Until the next one, FD for CHBAR.TV. Bye for now.